So what's this movie mean? I mean, what's going on? What's it talking about? There's so many themes in this movie. There's closure, father abandonment, relationships, even how we should be taking care of the world a better way. But I believe that there's just one central theme that this movie is trying to tell us about, and that is a world without God. That God doesn't exist, and even if he does exist, then is he really benevolent? Is he really good? Now, we can see this between the relationship between a father and son. That's Roy McBride and Clifford McBride. Now, we hit the God scene real early on in the movie as Roy's listening to an old message from his father who's been missing for some time. And his father in that video is saying, I'm out here in the expanse of space, the awesome and wonder and the beauty of this solar system, man, and I can feel closer to God than I've ever felt before. He says I can feel the very presence of God being out here, and it's such a wonderful thing. Now, God is not usually mentioned in a movie like that, nor with such reverence and respect. You never see that. And so right there, we already know that there's a mission that this movie and a goal that it has to set. But like I said earlier, we can see the theme carried out through the son and the father relationship. So let's kind of understand what's going on there. The father, Clifford, is on a mission to discover intelligent life. They want to go to the edge of the solar system, and by going there, they can better send out messages to the deep space in order for them to get a response to see what's happening. Now, after some time, they went missing. No connection was made back. But here recently, antimatter is being thrown from that area of space over to Earth, causing major destruction. Matter of fact, it says that the entire solar system can be destroyed through these powerful antimatter waves. And so NASA goes and they talk to Roy McBride and ask him, his son, and they ask him if he can go on this mission to find his father, reconnect with him, and see if they can stop those antimatter waves or go back and destroy that ship so that way the world and the solar system can be saved. Now right there you already know, like I said, that the focus is God, and what that message is trying to convey is that mankind, Roy, is seeking and trying to find out if God is alive. And that's his father, Clifford. And in seeking and knowing that maybe they can save the world, save the universe. So with that idea, let's continue on. So Roy makes it to the moon where he has to hitch a ride to go to Mars in order to make that message for his father to start that reconnection. But while he's on the moon, he gets a top secret video from one of Clifford's partners. Now, Clifford's partner gave it to him because he got hurt in a space pirate type combat action scene, which was pretty beautiful. But in this message that Clifford's colleague sent him was planted the first seeds of doubt towards who his father is. Because before then, all that Roy ever knew was just how wonderful, how great, and such a hero that his father was. But in this video, it says that maybe those antimatter waves that are coming to Earth and maybe destroying the solar system could actually be made by his father. So that's showing us right there already that maybe our idea of God being such a wonderful and beautiful person is actually not what things really are. Maybe God is destructive. That's if he is even real. So as Roy gets connected on the moon to go towards Mars, he hooks up with this group of people. Now this group of people just talk about his father glowingly. They're saying like how wonderful he is, how great he is, the greatest astronaut ever. Matter of fact, he's gone further than anybody in doing astronaut things. They also say that the reason many of them are even the person they are is because of who his father was. Now, there is a distress call that happens. And in the process of them trying to help out these people in this mayday, one of the crew members was killed. And now we have another picture that grounds us again to let us know what the theme of the movie is. We see a reverent prayer in honor of this fallen person, this person that was killed in this action. And as they send him off, they ask God to take him into heaven, to grab him and bring him to his abode. And it's a wonderful scene. I thought, like, wow, they're even praying in this movie. I mean, and it doesn't seem like it's evil or anything or misplaced. It's like a reverent prayer for a person who's passed away and his family. And so that just sinks our teeth deeper into the understanding of what this theme of the movie is about. Because as this is going on, we got to remember, everybody on that, the astronauts were thinking how glowingly his father was. But Roy has suspicions about how good his father could be. Now, as Roy arrives to Mars, this is where he has to begin to start reconnecting with his father. And when he goes in the first time, he was just normal, said what he needed to do. No answer. He comes back a second time, and this second time, he begins to open up more, and his emotions begin to change. So much so that they call him off of the mission because he's getting too close. He can no longer function in the capacity he is supposed to because of his emotions are so out of whack or helter-skelter. We can see here that this movie is trying to say that because we're so desperate to seek and know our Heavenly Father, God, we are becoming unstable in our actions. The things that we do are irrational at times because we want to know or get to know this Father, this God that may not even exist, that may not even be real. And then when we get a little inkling of a response from God, then we go crazy. Because that's one of the reasons that Roy started to have so much of these emotions, because they got a response, but they didn't let him know that he got the response. But now, a lady comes and talks to Roy and tells him what his father really has done. She gives him a pad, and he looks at it, and on it is a video. And this video talks about how his father, during a process of mutiny that was going on, ends up killing some people. And in it, he says that he had no way to be able to separate those who were actually mutinying and then the innocent. And so he just kills both. Now we wonder, and Roy wonders, now is his father good? Was he still trying to do what he was doing? Is it important that he did that in order for the mission to go on? It's like, could he not have done something to save those who were innocent, yet still punish those who are evil? Is God this way? Does he make arbitrary moves just to do whatever he wants to do? Can he not save those who are good and then punish those who are evil? When Roy finds this out, he's like, I have got to do something about it. I've got to find out who my father really is, what he did this for, and if he's actually trying to destroy this world. And so he sneaks onto a ship. And in the process of sneaking on, since he's not supposed to be there, these astronauts are trying to stop him and arrest him. In the process, they get killed. And he's sad about it. But he says in his mind he has a greater mission, that his is to go to find his father, rescue him, and then bring him back. Is this zeal that mankind has for the knowledge of God risking and putting others in danger? Are we destroying things in this world because our focus is too much on God? That's what this movie's trying to say. And we find the answer. As Roy finds his father on this ship, guess what? The first thing his father says is, I never cared about you. I never loved you or your mother. That you weren't important to me. But Roy says, I know, and I still love you. So if this God that created the world has done such these things, does he really care about us? Does he really even care who we are or what we've done? But us, we still long for that. We still long for that connection, just like Roy longs for that connection with his father. Matter of fact, the reason that he is who he is was because of his father. He became an astronaut because his father was an astronaut. He became the best astronaut because his father was the best astronaut. He said that because of his father, he was the best person that he could ever be. So doesn't that make a case for if God even is bad, shouldn't it be awesome? Or shouldn't it be great that we were the best people that we were? Well, I have to shoot to the side a second and talk about another aspect of the movie. And that is McBride, father, Clifford McBride's story. So Clifford is out in outer space because he's looking for this intelligent life. And he's been out there for so long. So long. Intelligent life is a metaphor for God. We're calling, looking for God. And he's been out there for so long, and he's never heard a message. He's not heard one single thing. Roy asked him, he says, well, did you find anything out? His dad said, no. Like, I never got an answer. And so the thing here is Roy goes up to him because his father thinks he's failed. He's like, I haven't done anything. I've been out here all this time, and it's not important. Everything I've done is stupid. It's failed because there is no answer from this intelligent life. But Roy tells his father, he looks him in the eyes and he says, you have done a great thing. You've told us that all we have is ourselves. So that's where I believe that this movie is trying to say is that God doesn't exist, but what we know is that we have each other. Now, as this thing is revealed, the movie wants to tell us that there's two ways that we can go. One way is that we can, in dispelling this idea of God, is that we can be like the pirates I was talking about earlier, is that we take what we want to take because we're stronger. This is like a Nietzsche idea. We can conquer and rule because we are the best. There's sheep and there's wolves. Or we could just give up, commit suicide like Clifford does in the movie. He just lets himself go. But I think the movie thinks, as I said, Roy is mankind. He believes that the movie believes that we could be like Roy. Now let me get back to that part. So Roy takes his father, puts all his gear on him, puts him in the astronaut suit, and then they try and head back to the ship. He connects him, tethers him to it because, see, we as humanity still want to hold on to the idea of God because, like I said, Roy became who he was because of his father. And so he's trying to hold on to that idea. But as soon as they get outside into that vast outer space, his father clicks on the boosters and just takes him away. See, Roy's desire for connection with his father is going to end up getting him killed. And so Roy goes out to try and save his father. And as they get up real close, his father looks at him in the eyes and he says, "You've got to let me go. You've got to let me go." The movie's telling us we've got to let go of this idea of God. We've got to let go. And Roy finally realizes who his father is. And in doing so, he reluctantly lets go. Roy goes back to the ship, and he collected data before, and in a narration he says that because his father was so absolutely focused on finding this intelligent life, he missed everything, the beauty and the wonder of the solar system that was around him. The movie's saying that because we are so focused on wanting to know if God is real or trying to devote our lives to who an image of God is, that we lose focus on everything that's around us, this world and the people that are living in it. See, Roy goes back home, and then in this understanding of clarity and focus, he begins to try and rebuild relationships that he's had in his past. He tries to become a better person because in reality, from the beginning of the movie on, we see that Roy is shut off from the world. But because of this new realization and understanding, now he wants to spread care and love to those that he did not do previously before. So in the sum of things, I believe that this movie, its theme is to say that we become better people when we forget that absent Father in the sky and we embrace the people and the world that's around us now. Now, obviously, I don't believe that because this is a Christian perspective, and I'm a Christian. And so I believe, though, that we need to understand what the world thinks around us, that since we're so focused on God, we lose focus on the world. But that's not true. See, if we understand what the Bible teaches, and this is a guy, Martin Luther, believes this exact thing from the scriptures that he's read, is that because we're so focused on God, that whatever gifts that God gives us should be distributed to our neighbor. Now, Jesus says that. He says that love God is the number one rule, and then love our neighbor is the number two rule. And so if we remember that in our lives, that we honor God, and by honoring God, we honor people. That's how we honor God, is we honor people. We love people. We share the beauty and the wonder of this world, our goods, as well as our knowledge of who he is. And the more we know and the more we understand who God is, the better that we can relate to people. The better we can share love to people. And that's why I believe it's important. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Put in the comments what you thought the movie was about, or if you thought my analysis was good. And I appreciate you guys for watching. And if it's your first time checking us out, man, hit that subscribe button and the bell, and you get more videos like this. See you guys. Oh, and keep watching movies.